Hello, welcome to the 2nd of August. Sorry, the 2nd of August, day number 2. They all merged into one sometimes. So this is our second stream. We'll be going live every single day in August with our live stream. So welcome to the stream. I was checking, we had some audio there and I could hear a bit of my kind of voice, so that's great. So hopefully you can relax a little bit, get some good audio, some good video, and we're going to share with you in our live stream tonight some more information about the DA-100 certification. We're also going to let you in on a new competition that we're going to run just this week, so from now until the 7th of August 2020, for a seat on one of our public training courses, actually the very first one that we're going to run for the DA-100 certification. So it's a 5-day instructor-led course. It will be virtual, so you kind of can be anywhere in the world. It will be run in kind of UK time. So from 9 a.m. UK time to about 4:30 every day, Monday to Friday, 5 days, the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th and 21st. So if you're looking forward to maybe kind of taking some training, you've got a chance to come and join us. And what I'll do is I'll give you some instructions as we go through tonight's stream about how we're going to enter that, what information you need to provide back to us in order to be a kind of enter, and then we're going to randomly pick a winner from all those qualified entries to actually have a seat on that course. There's going to be the following kind of week Monday after that. So we're going to end on the 7th, and then on the 17th we're going to allow that. I think kind of I've worked out the dates right correctly. So let's kind of get started what we have in tonight's session. By the way, if you are looking to kind of learn more about the DA-100, let me outline what we're going to be doing in terms of the certification. So I'm just going to bring up a couple of slides. Just going to switch this over. So, and I'm going to see if I've got a chance to put it into a top window. I don't think I have that. No, not that one. Okay, so I thought I had my little visual into the top window. I'll come back to my screen in a moment. So the DA-100, as you may or may not be aware, is the new role-based Power BI data analyst certification. So it's replacing what used to be the 778 or 2778 course. And if you took that exam, you would have kind of passed that. It was a 3-day kind of instructor-led course, and it was all about kind of the product itself. They have changed their focus in how they're designing these courses, and they made them more role-based certifications. So what I'm going to do is, you probably see on the right-hand side of my screen, it's going to go and kind of zoom up a little bit. I've got this kind of listing down here, which has more information about the DA-100 exam. So I've got a little wrong screen. There we go. Come back and put it on there. Too many controls, not quite skillful enough to remember which button to press and which ones not to. But we're going to go through it and look at what's in the curriculum for the DA-100. We're going to show you the training we're going to provide over the next 4 months in free resources. So what we're going to do is every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, starting from tomorrow the 3rd, we're going to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're going to release a new video. So there's 13 new videos every single month. We're going to do that in August, September, October, and we're going to finish off with November. Across those 52 videos, we will cover the full range of all of the kind of curriculum, the objectives, whatever you want to call them. It's essentially the skills that are going to be measured. I'm going to show you some ways of kind of going to look at how you get started with your journey, some ways of understanding where you are currently in your journey in terms of skills. So we've got some testing that you can go undertake, that you can go to, and know kind of where your strengths and weaknesses are. And then we're going to be doing a live stream every day in August talking about this certification as well as a couple of others, but the videos are going to come out and they're going to be sequential. So in August we are looking at what's called prepare the data. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to bring up one of my additional panes here and go to certifications, and I'm going to scroll down, and on the left hand side we have the new data analyst certification. So in here, the DA-100, when we go in and look at the details of this, we're going to have 5 functional groups. We have prepare the data, model the data, visualize the data, analyze the data, and then finally we've got the deployment and deliverables. So we kind of, how do we maintain those assets? The breakdown of those, I'm going to drill in and say it's going to be kind of a 20-25% for some of the first few, and then there's a 10 to 15 set. But let's kind of jump in and see that. Let's go and see what we have. So we're going to click onto this link. By the way, I will put some of these links down in the kind of description area. I will also make these available on my blog, which is currently going to be built along with a new website to embed these along with additional blogging information I'm going to share with you about this. And also we're going to have the ability to download some assets from there, so kind of some files, Excel. But I'm going to go and show you some ways you can actually kind of go and get started right now and do this under your own kind of time when it's available. But let's go look at the skills measured here. So here we have the skills measured, and you say, oh, I always click the wrong one. There, let's go try again. Take the corner and take that there. So prepare the data, model the data, visualize the data, analyze the data, and deploy and maintain deliverables. So prepare the data. This is going to be August. We're going to take the whole of August. We're going to go through, we're going to build, I think it is, I'm trying to remember exactly how many videos it is, but I think it's 13 different videos, or it might be 11, and I've got a couple of others that are going to be around some of the other Power BI aspects. So kind of the cadence of the updates and some of the other service related stuff that's kind of maybe not covered in the exam. The reason why I'm saying it is the Power BI is constantly evolving as a product, and when they sat down and worked out what the exam was going to cover, and I was involved in some of those discussions and some of the workshops that held at Microsoft around that, we then kind of figured out what was going to be included. Now, some of the items were in preview right then, so anything that was in preview would have not have been included. But ultimately they probably come out of preview, and by the time you get to take the exam, they could be out of preview and a normal feature, but they're not included on that exam. Now they will come back maybe in about a year's time and review the content and see what's kind of maybe come into normal general acceptance is out there kind of for non-preview state, and that might get folded into the new exams. They might evolve the exam a little bit. So you'll get note about that. You'll get notifications about kind of when that exam is changing and all some great information. Okay, just going to see if there's anything in the chat window. Let's kind of just bring up that chat window there. So if you do have any comments to put in the chat window, please do so. I will hopefully see those. I think I've got everything turned on. I'm just going to just check that that is the case, and I'm just going to see if there's anything there now. Oops. So let me just kill that window. I just need to kill one of the windows here and turn it on again, and then view it. So if anybody wants to throw a chat into the chat window, I might see that and I'll be able to kind of share that and respond to it. So I've just set up tonight, so I don't know if that's working or not. We'll see if that is the case. So I'm going to view the queue there. But if you are not seeing anything in the chat window, then or I'm not seeing anything, I'll check later. I'll kind of be able to answer those after tonight's session. So skills measured. Let's go into a little bit more detail though. Let's kind of go into the link below and this download certification skills. I'm going to click on that and go into the detail. Now what we'll find is if you go into there, and I'll just kind of move everything over to the left hand side a little bit, we have the prepared data. If I scroll down, we have a section called model the data, and then analyze the data, visualize the data. So the first ones that we're going to be focused in on is these subsections. So get data from different data sources, profile of data, and then each one of these individual items is going to be covered. So for example, on Mondays, I'm covering the first two, and roughly I'm doing 2 or 3. Sometimes it's just 1, depends on the size of that kind of specific element. But generally it's going to be a couple of those, 2 or 3, and what we'll do is we'll take a video and we're going to pick one of these in turn and we're going to drill down. So I'm going to give you a bit of an example of what that might look like tonight. I'm going to go and look at the identify and connect to a data source. I'm going to kind of open up Power BI and connect to a data source and show you. But in the videos I'm creating, I kind of take you through the steps and also provide a bunch of other instructions. So these live streams I'm doing is kind of making you available, making you aware what we've got coming, what's in the kind of training we're going to deliver, some other training resources that we're going to make available on a kind of paid for basis because it's an instructor-led public kind of virtual training. It's the same as if you went to one of the training providers, you kind of have the same thing. But we're doing this effectively probably one of the first few courses out there. I'm also recording some express exam prep training. These are, I think, 2-hour videos for Microsoft around the DA-100, and I'm going to be working on that this week, and I'll let you know more information about that once I've got those done, and the company I'm working with on those, we're happy to now share that information. So I'll let you know more information as we get later into August around those. So let's kind of zone back out of that one, use the right key combination, come back to where we are. I'm going to start and look at this kind of mind map that I have around. Let's kind of get the cursor in the right place, and here we've got kind of the exam, the DA-100, and in there you can see obviously we kind of zoned in and we're looking at August. So what I've done so far is I've just put some information in for this coming week, what we're covering. So get data with Power BI Desktop and clean and transformation. Now what I've done is I've given you some Microsoft Learn links here. What that essentially is there's some materials, some content, some labs, some great resources that are free and I know you can access. I put them into links. Now there will be additional other materials that I'll be linking out as we go through the month. Some of those will only be available from my website once that's up and running. I've got a designer working on that right now, and I'm just giving you a place to go and start here. So let's go and click on that first link. So I come out of pan mode. I always forget to do that, and I click on the link then. Pans are so I can move stuff around. So this is one of the initial certification tracks. So I'm just going to kind of minimize this a little bit and go and show you what we have. So what we have is prepare data for analysis. Now this is a 2-hour or so learning path. And in this learning path, you've got 2 modules. One is a very short learning path, and one is essentially just the kind of hello, these are the type of things we're doing. We're not really going to spend too much time on that, but it kind of shows you a little bit about that. But there is a lab, and I want to highlight this lab to you, because although it says like there's a 10-minute window for this remaining, it's actually 10 different units in there. So there's only 10 minutes remaining, which is the ones I haven't really looked at. But this 45-minute lab, if you click on it, will provision up a lab for you to launch. It's completely free. It's going to be available for you to click on the launch. It will load up some resources for you in Azure. It's going to provide a SQL Server backend, a local host. It's going to kind of provide a lab environment for you. You can step yourself through the instructions on this. It's very straightforward. There's not a lot of complexity to it. We looked at this a little bit last night just to kind of get started, and you can then kind of have that all up and running. So you can follow through and do these instructions very, very easily. There's additional assets I'm going to show you, which is called aka.ms /DIAD, which stands for dashboard in a day. So I've run this course in person before, up to 80 students on a number of occasions, and I've done a couple of kind of online versions privately for companies. But essentially, if you come in here and click on the link there at the very top, and either choose your language of English or one of the others, if you go down to the bottom, you'll see that it's actually downloading quite a reasonably large file. It's 444 megs, so it's quite large. Open that up. It has a set of instructions for a PDF to run through for a full day's training. Now when we kind of do that, we normally have a bunch of students in the room, people are walking their way through. The instructors like myself would be there to help if you got kind of stuck on a step. But you have the ability to go and run that yourself. So you can download materials and kind of walk your way through it. That is a good starting point if you're not familiar with Power BI, or you're still getting to learn the basics. It's useful. I do have a video version of the full dashboard in the day on one of my training platforms, and I'll make that information available to you. By the way, I'm just going to bring up something into my, I'll just get the cursor one sec. Too many zooms and I have to move the cursor over. So let me just do this very quickly. Let's go to Birmingham. I'm just going to need to get back to the right real estate, and there we go. Okay, so if I maximize that, and I'm going to go and, where is the one I want? This one here. So I'm going to bring this over. Okay, so on your screen you should see at the bottom of the screen competition time, a chance to win a free training seat at our public training course, the DA-100, the first that we're going to run, and it's the 17th to the 21st of August. So Monday the 17th all the way through to the Friday the 21st. The normal training course cost at the moment for a discounted run that we're doing is 895 sterling. So this is nearly worth £900. We're offering one free seat. To become eligible to enter, you're going to need to listen to the code word that I'm going to give you. So I will, in the next few minutes, I'm not going to say exactly when, I'm going to give you a code word. And what I do, I will put in the instructions in the description below to kind of tell you what you need to do in order to be eligible to enter that course. So watch out, listen, and if you hear the keyword, take a note of it, and then I'll be asking that as a question in a form that I'm going to ask you to go and fill in with the keyword and other information that we will validate, and then we'll know that you are a valid entry competitor and you potentially can win yourself onto that seat. So very good. Let me kind of get rid of that for a second. And that keyword is coming. I'll tell you when it's going to come, but it's coming. Okay, let me come over to back to my view so I can see it. So hopefully you would have kind of been paying attention and you're out there listening. If not, if you're watching the recording and it's after the 7th of August, you may have missed your time to actually kind of enter that competition. But every single day this week, I'm doing a different keyword. And what I can do is the more entries you put in with the right keywords, the more chances you have of winning. So if you enter for today with today's keyword, and you've got Wednesday's keyword or Friday's keyword, you've got 2 or 3 chances. So there's going to be 6 different chances to win if you know every single keyword, and every keyword will change on every live stream I do. So the live stream will have that information. Okay, let's go back to what we're trying to share. So dashboard of the day, again, all these links will be put into the description below, and please kind of subscribe and say kind of you want to know more about kind of what we're doing here. So I think if I can kind of just do this one here. Oops, I need to press play first. I'm going to see if I get it right this time, Neil. Okay, so let me just try and run it and paste it over. Okay, I'm not sure why. Oh, I need to run it and paste. There we go. Technology. I'm still setting this up. This is my second stream on this. I'm still kind of get all the controls dialed in, so apologies for a few seconds there. I'll get a key button set up for that. So subscribe, and you're notified when we put out a new live stream or a new video. So let's go back to the lab, and you can go through and do all the steps here. What you end up actually, by the way, at the end, if you look at the top, you'll have things like links to go into, like check your knowledge. So you'll be able to kind of validate your skills and understanding about the modules. I'll leave you to answer those. I know which ones are correct here. But yeah, you'll kind of need to learn that a little bit. And let's go and look at this additional information I have. So I'm going to go into the website. One sec, I need to go to here. Nope, that wasn't where I wanted. We were Power BI. I thought I had the screen up, but I must have moved it. Okay. So I'm going to log into my Power BI. I'm going to log in. What I want to do is I want to show you some training assets that you can go and access. So let me kind of just sign into my Power BI. I think I've got a bit of a heavy workload coming through right now. So let me kind of just stop that, cancel that download, and let's refresh the screen now. It's probably not a good idea to try and download and live stream at the same time, by the way. Top tip then. Okay, so let me just try that again. I'm going to go to Power BI. I'm going to go and sign in, and that doesn't want to sign in, although it was signed in a few moments ago, so I'm not sure why that's not signing in. But let me kind of see if I can see anything on my information. So we do have a few people. Nothing saying bit of noise on my end. Hopefully there's no more noise. I'm going to see if I can kind of turn off a few of the other controls here. So hopefully if there's any more noise, please let me know, and I will try and resolve that for you. Kind of see if there's anything in the chat window there. So let me go and look at the chat window. So for some reason I can't get that chat window to show up. When I test it, it works. So this is what I'm going to be trying to show you. So I've logged into Power BI, and what I wanted to do was to basically upload a file, upload a PBX file, or upload something that was going to be kind of an existing file that's already there. So if I click on that, what I want to do is I want to go to samples. So down the left hand side here, you'll see there's organization services. If I go to samples and click on samples, you'll notice I've done a number of different samples. I'm just going to pick one I haven't used before. So let me go to customer profitability, click on connect, and this is going to take a few minutes. It's going to start adding in. So you can see I kind of did one about 50 minutes ago for IT spends, and I've got now the ones coming in for the customer profitability. So I can go and actually look at that report. I'm going to wait for that to focus in. So I have some sample information now loaded into my Power BI service just by going to kind of the import, and I can also kind of go in and share this and do things with it. So if I want to kind of start working with this, I can go into my workspace and pick up the actual report itself, and I could go and do some design elements on that. So I could go and make some changes to this. So I can go and edit this report, for example, and I could start going making changes to maybe the way that the colors are and the different visuals and any filtering I might have. So generally would do this though in Power BI Desktop. So if you're familiar with Power BI Desktop, you go and have a look. Power BI, the main website, come to the products page, click on Power BI Desktop, and you'll be able to then go and download that file. I'm not going to download it because I already have it. So let me zoom out a little bit, but if you click on there, and then we would basically open up a report. So I'm just going to start Power BI Desktop and have a copy. I already have one copy running, but I want to open a brand new empty one for a second. And I'm going to show you which version I'm using. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to start building reports right now. I'll show you the version. And the reason being, it changes every single month. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and look at the main comments. So still a bit, but you're able to hear okay. So I need to look at the noise in the back end here. All of my fans are turned off. Let me just go turn off one of the fans, one sec. And hopefully that might have been the background noise. If not, I'll have to do some investigation as to what the background noise is, or change my voice settings. So I have a noise gate. I'm going to maybe raise that a little bit to figure out what the noise is. So, but thanks for letting me know. Okay. So here's our main empty Power BI Desktop file. I'm going to bring that over to the main screen. And all I'm going to do is going to go File, and I want to go and look at the options. I'm going to see kind of what version I have. I can also go to the help about, but I can see kind of what I'm using today. I can see some of the settings I have. Now I know kind of what I've got, but one of some of the things I'm looking at is my local import correct? What report settings might I have? Is there, now to be honest, for me generally it's going to look at some of the preview features. I'm going to go and see which preview features are turned on. So for example, the personalized visualizations is a new one. I'm currently evaluating the capabilities that's in that. So that will be in a preview state. So I kind of want to tip that on, and let me zone out a little bit so we can see the whole thing. And then I'm going to go to help, and I go to where's the about. I can never find it when I'm looking for it. There we go. July 2020, but I've got a specific version. I've got the 289. So rolls really in a little bit further. There we go. So I've got 2.835.894.881. I think this one's about 3 days old, 3 or 4 days old. I think it was the 30th of July. I think it was released. So we're now into August. It will be about mid-August. The cadence on the releases for Power BI Desktop is once a month, roughly, usually in the end of the month, and you'll be able to see a blog and more information on the Power BI website that will actually tell you about what's happening there. So we did go back to the Power BI Desktop and go to the community resources blog. If you want to know more information about when that's release is coming out, you'll kind of see we have like a feature summary, and that explains all of the kind of cool content that's actually covered inside of that release. So you see that it's usually around about the 15th of the month, and you'll see new stuff, what's in there, and you'll be able to download that version. They also do a nice little video, and there's some really cool gradient legends, so different gradients, colors for what's actually out there. Okay, there's a ton more stuff, and you need to go and spend some time. I will say a shout out to the guy in the cube, Adam and Patrick, that do a weekly roundup of what's in there. So not only what's in this, but what's kind of happened around in the Power BI kind of community, and some great blogs, etc. Go take your time, look at some of the stuff they have. They have some great videos. So it's Cube. They're probably the one of the number one kind of video YouTube channels out there around Power BI, and they've been going for a large number of years. And Adam and Patrick are just very awesome in that space. So a bit yo to Adam and Patrick. They get that reference if you don't know it. Okay, so I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time tonight kind of carrying on. You're probably waiting for that keyword, aren't you? Okay, so it's called insights. The keyword today is insights. Make a note of it. Write it down. Get your pen. Get one of these. Insights. Tomorrow we'll have a different word. And what I do is, when you want to enter, I'll give you details this week on how to enter. You'll be able to put in, and it will be like, what was the keyword for Sunday? And you'll put in the word insights. If you don't know the keyword, that's fine. And when you submit it on Friday, or it actually will be open from Saturday for 4 days, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we will open up the kind of submission of the competition, and you can put in how many keywords you know from that week. And if you want to come in, you do know these are recorded, so I think you can figure out the rest. Okay, let me kind of just take a quick sip. So if you have questions, put them in the window. I can see the chat window, but it's not going to come up on my YouTube chat app. So if you want to put any questions in, I can see them, I can answer them. And a shout out to an ad. Actually, we have two ads. So an ad 1 and ad 2. And I probably completely butchered your names and how to pronounce it. I am terrible. I have my brother and my colleagues, sometimes I butcher their names as well, so it's not personal preference on your names. I just look at sometimes the words and I just can't pronounce them. So Eric, pronounced correctly, by the way. Hi Eric as well, I can see you. So hopefully you've had some good start information. Let's kind of go and give you some further information just before we round up tonight. So we started with the Power BI service. We've done some samples. We've got the lab that's available from the Microsoft Learn, and if we go to the Microsoft Learn page, I'm going to be able to go back to school to learn how to type as well. There we go, to Microsoft Learn. I'm going to click the Explore Learn. I'm going to show you two more things. One is Microsoft Learn and one is the Pluralsight. So browse all paths. I'm going to choose roles, and I want the data analyst role. Okay, so this is where you get started with Power BI. Okay, and if we go into certification and I scroll to the bottom of that screen, we'll see the free stuff on the left hand side. This is that Power BI analyzing data with Power BI course. Keep going down, you'll have journey to certification. Click on it. This is going to give you the data analyst certification track. Okay, so we have the skills outline we just looked at earlier. We've had our self-paced learning, we just referenced the course. There is some hands-on labs, which will be the labs we just looked at earlier. If you won't take the exam and you make a passing grade, that's 700 to 1,000. So it's up to 1,000. This is points. If you get 700 or higher, you pass. If you get under 700, you fail. It's a pass or fail. You will get some information about how well you did in each of the categories. So the functional groups, the 5 different functional groups. So you may need to go and kind of learn how to do things a bit for the second one. But what we're going to be doing in terms of kind of the next month is focusing on the prepared data, and then we're going to look at the model data. We're going to then look at the visualize data. I nearly lost it there for a second. Analyze the data and the deliverables. So those are going to be covered over 5 months. The first the first 3 are August, September, and October is prepare, model, and visualize. The analytics and the kind of the final one, which is going to be the deploy assets, is 10 to 15% each, and that's going to be in the final month of November. So we've got 52 videos, as I said. So stay tuned for those, get subscribing, get kind of onto the streams every day, or at least try and watch them kind of later on after they've been recorded. So we've got another thing I'm going to show you, which is the skills role IQ. Now it's in the Pluralsight service. So we're going to go Pluralsight. Now what it is Microsoft themselves have Discover Your Role IQ, and they've basically got a kind of a few kind of upskill your teams. They've got some free plans. They're doing a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just going to sign in to show you the skills very quickly, and I will do a link in the description below later on if you'll sign in for this now. I'm just going to go to the Role IQ and just kind of click on that link there. So essentially the URL that you're looking for is going to be the app pluralsight.com/roleiq, and in here you see that we have a number of entries there. I'm just going to go down where we have the BI data analyst and keep going down. We have additional ones, and we've got this data analyst one here at the moment, which is going to be looking at some of the technologies around R, for example, and also Power BI. Let me go back to the Role IQ for a second and come down a bit further. And where was the one I'm looking for? I usually run past it by mistake somehow. There we go. If I can find it. I thought I had it there for a second. So Azure Data Analyst is what I'm looking for. So let me actually just type it out. I thought I had it there. I thought it was actually that's the R one. That's not the one I want. So dismiss that. Let me go into here and we do Data Analyst. Oops. Analyst. Trying to type over the top of a keyboard, not the easiest thing to do. Okay, there we go. Let me go and find the Microsoft Data Analyst one. So see what's there. Now I did have it. I've seemed to have completely lost the. Oh, I'm sorry. I've gone into the main site. I don't want to do that. My apologies. I want to go to Role IQ again. So it was here, but it looks like they've moved it. So data scientist, data AI. I'll just go have a quick look down here so I can see it here. So was one of these, but it looks like they've moved stuff around. So the website does look a little bit different than it was last week. So let me kind of just grab this one. I'm going to say beginner level. Oh, and this is the one. Yeah, so this actually is the one. There we go. So beginner, submit, and you'll see down here we've got the Power BI for Analyst. And essentially you can go and measure yourself under one of these groupings. So here's an example of a quick kind of review of the I took, and I kind of see that I kind of did that, and I got 252. So mid 250s, not the greatest, but for me I would expect probably 280, 290 or higher. But if you've got over 200, you're probably fairly close to being ready to take the exam. Okay, but you can come and take this, and then when you look at the kind of skills, it will give you personalized content about what maybe your strengths and weaknesses are. So this is called Role IQ. I will be making some details in the description about the access URL for this, and you come in and you can see kind of what this is. Microsoft Power BI for Analyst. This is the learning path that they have developed, and you've got a large number of different kind of videos, etc., available on the Plus site. Add this to the stuff that we're doing, and you'll be able to kind of see that is going to be a rounded out way for you to learn how to prepare for taking the data analyst role exam. So we're pretty much done for today. I'm just going to come back to my screen. I'm going to switch over. I'm going to remind you that today's code word is insights. INSIGHTS. I can spell it, I sometimes can't type it. So insights, you'll have a new keyword tomorrow. We will be back here again at 8:30 p.m. British summer time for day 3 of our 31 days in August. And the video number 1, our first video for August, will actually be released tomorrow as well. So keep an eye out for that. So go subscribe, you get the bell notification. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you've seen. And we'll see you tomorrow. So thank you very much for attending. It's been awesome to have you join us. And we'll see you very, very soon. Bye for now.